Welcome back to Just Hear Me Out. So, today, Demetra and I want to talk about how to start your own salon suite. I feel like there's not enough information out there. So, even though some of our audience this may not apply to, these are our tips on how to start your own salon suite. Hey, girl.
Hey girl, hey.
So, Demetra and I started the same weekend in 2020, our salon suites. And Demetra actually had her own salon setup before, and I came directly from a commission salon. So, we coming from kind of two different starting points, but I found it really confusing. Okay, first of all, it was COVID. Second of all, I feel like there's not that much information out there about it. And I looked up everything and was still pretty confused. So I would say the first thing you need to do is come up with the name. And that is so difficult. I
Yes.
remember thinking that it should just be my name. But then again, if you ever wanted to kind of sell your business to somebody, like with your clientele, you don't necessarily want it to be your name. And then I thought later that I overthought it and I should have just put my name. I don't know. Any
No,
thoughts?
I honestly, I kept thinking of everything possible, and I just finally said, it's me. I'm a one-woman show. It's
Yeah.
Demetra G Salon. And literally, that's the name of my salon. I like it. Simple.
Yeah, it gets a little confusing, like what I did and so many other people, where, people are like, "Oh, is that you? Or is that not you? Or how do they find the salon space?" So
Yeah.
mine is called Hue Studio, HUE. Anyway, so that's a food for thought, but you got to pick your name first because then you're going to apply for an LLC. And
Yes.
LLCs are so important because, I mean, how often does it happen? It's very low percentage, I'm sure, but if someone were to be a total wackaloon and sue you over their hair, that your personal assets would not be on the table for
Right.
anything.
But also, if you're in a suite, you wouldn't be able to, they wouldn't rent to you unless you were either an LLC or S Corp.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, you have to be
Oh,
a
okay.
business in order to go in. So LLC stands for limited liability company, and S Corp is, I have no idea what S Corp stands for actually. Because I'm
Well,
an LLC, so.
I think there's like a C corp and an S corp. I mean, I
Oh,
think it's
yes.
so S corp would be if you are structuring your LLC in a way that you don't have to take out of the business all of your earnings.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So if you make more money than you want to count as your income, you would have an S corp because your business would be holding on to money and your business would be paying you. So you'd be getting a paycheck from the company. Does that make sense? If I were to do an S corp, I would have to have my accountant do it. I just think of it as like when I think of doing my taxes.
Hmm.
So I'm married. So there's three of us, and we all have social security numbers, if you will. So there's my husband and me and Hughes Studio. There's like three of us because it has its own number, EIN. Anyway, long story short, you can leave money in the business bank account if you're an S corp. At the end of the year, you're not necessarily paying taxes on all your earnings because they're staying in the business to be reinvested in the business.
I
Anyway,
got it.
that's
Yeah,
a whole
thank you.
other
No,
thing.
that was a good explanation, actually.
Good. So I do think you want an accountant to file your LLC. I got a little big for my britches and I thought, well, I'm really smart and don't laugh, Demetra. I'm really
You
smart and
are
also
smart. You're very smart.
I was thinking one of my friends had used LegalZoom,
Okay.
and I do not recommend that ever. I did it, and it was a huge mess. So LLC is you would apply for that through your state. And so you need to know the name, then you get your LLC, then you get your social security number for the business, right? And
Which is
that
an
number,
EIN number.
yes, and that number is what you need to open a bank account for your business.
Right.
Because,
Because
of
I was
course,
confused. I tried opening a bank account first, thinking, well, I need a bank account. How am I going to go
yeah,
apply for my LLC? What money am I going to use?
yeah.
Well, right. So this is the exact order, what Barbara is saying.
Yeah. So these things are just not spelled out anywhere. That's why I want to go through this. So get a name you're willing to stay with for a long time. There's always other avenues. Businesses can file another form and call it DBA, doing business as, but it's kind of messy. Just come up with a name and use an accountant to create your business. And in Illinois, it probably is true all over the US, but it gets a little confusing. This is where LegalZoom failed me. There's such a thing as a PLLC, and that's what we salon suite owners are. And that
What's
means
that?
professional LLC. And that means you have to have a professional license to be doing it. So any profession where you have to be licensed, and a lot of people think hairdressers, no big deal, but it's the same as a lawyer or a doctor. When you have to have your professional license to be even practicing, it's called a PLLC because you need both. Once you have your LLC, you need to go to IDFPR in Illinois. So every state will have its own version. Illinois Department of Financial something something.
Relation, blah, blah, blah.
You would think I had looked it up, but I didn't. Anyhow, that is where you're going to be getting your business license. So as Demetra was just saying, that's the major thing is when you are opening your salon suite, you need 2 licenses that you're supposed to display. Barely anybody does it. I do it because I'm a weirdo with OCD. So I got a frame that has 2 openings that are 5x7 because you will have 2 licenses. One for Hue Studio in my case, my LLC, and one with my own name on it for my cosmetology license to do hair.
Right. So don't get confused. So if you're someone like me and the business name is Demetra G Salon, which is my name, my licenses will have both of my names on it. The first license is going to be, Demetra G Salon. The other one's going to be just for Demetra to show that I'm licensed to even do hair, your cosmetology license.
Yeah. So I just like to reiterate one more time. I like to think of it as almost like a separate person. I think accountants and people that do these sort of things call it an entity. There's a license for Hue Studio and there's a license for me as a person that I've always had working as a commission stylist.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because when we came from commission salons, because you and I both came from commission salons, we did not need that. We only needed our cosmetology license. So that's going to be the difference when you open your own salon suite. Don't get confused. You will have those 2 licenses.
Yes.
Okay. So that's,
and every year you're going to have something that you're supposed to renew. It's happening.
Always something. Yeah.
So now something else that people can get a little confused about opening a salon suite, in addition to those things with your state government, you also need a city business license. So I suppose there are cases where maybe you don't, but you really have to check because we both work in Highland Park, Illinois. And so we have to have a Highland Park business license.
When I had my own salon in Wilmette, we did not need that.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to check. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was definitely something new. And when I did go to the salon suites, they kept telling me I needed a salon shop registration. And I was so confused. I was so annoyed. I was ready to be like, fuck this suite. I'm leaving. I got so, because nobody knew what it was. Even my accountant, nobody knew what it was. I had to literally call Highland Park. I'm like, what are you people talking about? And they were like, some towns require, it's just like an extra piece of paper / more money to give them just to say now that you can even work in their town. That's what that basically is. Some towns don't require it. But if you're going into a suite, look that up. You might need it and you might not. It's not really a big deal once you know what it is, but I wish someone told me because it was very frustrating. Like nobody knew what it was. And it was like hard trying to get the information. But once you're on point, it's real easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So also, this is the last of the heavy lifting here. You need to decide if you're going to sell retail or not because there's no state tax on service, but there is tax on products. So if you are going to sell shampoo, conditioner, hair products, anything physical, you're going to need a whole other set of numbers for selling retail and paying your sales tax collected back to the state. And I did that. Demetra does not do that.
I started it though. My first year I did it. And I'm sorry, it's too much of a pain in the ass. I don't feel like for me, it was not worth it.
Well, let me explain to you because Demetra got upset. I got upset. Trust me. So when you open your salon suite and you are going to sell retail, every quarter you have to go on the state tax website and fill out forms and submit like from your business checking account, pay them the sales tax that you collected. Here's the thing. If you don't have a ton of money that you are paying, so like, for example, it's where we are, it's 8% sales tax. So if I'm not like a big retail company and I'm not submitting hundreds of dollars every quarter, they're going to send you a piece of paper at the end of the first year that says you have to do it only once a year.
Oh, so that's not bad then.
So that's what I do now. Because if it's like somewhere between $10 and like $50 for each quarter, they're going to say, we don't care that much. And I just do it at the end of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's that. There's a, you will get used to it, or I'm sure you could pay your accountant to do it if you wanted to. But yes, that is all the messiness around all the legal parts. So I wanted to talk about furniture because I thought, what the heck am I going to do? Especially as a colorist. I mean, trust me, everyone's got their storage issues because you have a small space and you want to go vertical with your shelving and everything else. I wanted to say, and Demetra has an awesome room, so she's going to tell you her tricks. I want to say you can either get what is sold as like a kitchen island or a kitchen pantry. And the pantry thing would be tall. So it's like instead of having a pantry that's a closet. And those are the two main things I have in my room. And the kitchen island, I just have it like backed up against the wall. And that's what I mix color on. But it's actually very handy, and it has like a thing on the end that holds paper towels. So that would be if you don't have a kitchen island in your house, you can buy these and they're on wheels. I think it's awesome. Demetra, you take it away.
So I guess it depends, right? I specialize in hair cutting, so I don't need as much storage space as Barbara, but I do need my storage for, shampoos, conditioner, keratin products, things of that nature, and, cleaning products as well. I think, for us, we're in salon suites and they're lofts, so they're much higher. So I think utilizing going upwards, is really good. Not all suites have high ceilings like us. Okay, so another really good for space saving, even though I'm not a fan of IKEA stuff or furniture for a salon suite, I think it's great because their dimensions are very compact. So if you need stuff for a small room, they're nice because like they will have shelving. You can even get a desk that's only like 13, 15 inches deep, so it's very space saving. You can't really get furniture like Restoration Hardware. It's not going to work in a salon suite space, and I think you also have to think about, do you want your items to be open for display or do you want them to be closed behind something? Like for me, I don't like my stuff to really be visible.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to say when I was looking around, I found that like if you're going to have a mirror in front of your stylist chair, obviously if you're going to have in front of that something that people can put a purse on or drinks or whatever, I actually had a lot of luck looking on Overstock or Wayfair or whatever for hall tables or console tables because a hall table will not stick out very far, and those can be a really great spot for kind of creating your own stylist station if you're not buying a formal stylist station.
Yeah, because you don't really have to buy formal I mean, we didn't. All of our stuff, none of it was formal at all. We just kind of created our own little thing,
The last salon I came from had really beautiful dressers that were like
That's
the
what I had
stylist
in my old
stations.
salon. We had dressers.
If they're too vintagey, though, it gets annoying because the drawers don't work as well. Anyway, side note. But yeah, that was my other hack is if you need the kind of space that I need, you can either do like an armoire and a dresser or what I did, which was a kitchen island and a pantry.
I do want to add, whatever you buy, whether it be a pantry or something, don't go too deep because what ends up happening is you're constantly looking for things and you're shuffling around. That's why like IKEA has these really nice like 10 inches, 13 inches, like depth is really nice. And like I said, you could go upwards or along your wall really nicely. And it's just right there. You can open a cabinet, it's right there. You're not searching for it, So I think because one of ours in the room, I believe is like 24 inches deep. And things get lost in there. You got to move shit around to get to the other thing. You don't know what you have. So I think when you're in a salon suite, making things visible for storage, but no one else has to see it. It could be behind a cabinet, but make sure that it's visible for you to be able to see because then it just gets lost,
And the more shelves you have, the more there is to dust.
Yes.
I did that the wrong way. Oh, and I saw one woman in our salon loft space. I thought this was genius. When I first moved into the home I'm in now, I was really excited to get side tables like for the living room around the couch and whatnot, where they have the outlets in them. So it's easy
those are cool.
So this girl, like a genius, right next to the station, she has a really pretty side table that you can easily kind of like move out a little bit or adjust when someone's sitting down so that the cords are long enough, but you can plug everything in.
Yeah, because a lot of clients come and they're like working on their computers and they need, to plug in their phones or if they're working. And so that's nice for them as well.
Yeah. plus all our stuff that
Mm-hmm.
we got to plug in.
That is true.
And also, I wanted to say I did at one point buy a different salon chair, a stylish chair, because I was just kind of bored of the one I had and I wanted one that looked a lot sleeker. And I found a great deal, and I'm not going to say where because I feel a little bad. It was not good. It looks beautiful. It was not functional. These hydraulic chairs, they need to be able to take a lot of weight as well because people come in all sizes and shapes. So I think that was the issue is it wasn't sturdy enough. But regardless, I mean, it was such a headache for me. And then like to figure out what to do with it after the fact. And I would say there's a brand that when I was at Trio Salon, the owners were really, really into this specific brand. I haven't found anything like it. Are you familiar with Takara Belmont?
Yeah. Very nice stuff.
Their stuff is not cheap, but it is like legit. It's
Yeah,
legit.
it's good stuff.
If I were going to set up a salon that I plan to stay for like 10 years or something, I would absolutely get those. But the average stylist chair from Takara Belmont is probably 1,000, maybe 1,100. I
Which
was
is
amazed though.
definitely pretty pricey because you can get them starting at $299. But again, when they start at $299, like Barbara said, what you have to look at, like, can the hydraulic handle, someone that weighs more than 250?
Yeah.
And weight, you have to think
Yeah.
about those things when you're purchasing chairs outside. Like if the salon suite doesn't offer it to you and that's something you have to buy, look at don't be like, oh, this one's cool because it's super cheap. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Check the weight, what it can handle in weight.
Yeah, it has to be well made. It just has to be.
Yeah.
I was seeing that, barber chairs, those are crazy expensive. That is a huge investment.
Yes.
And I know that where I am now, it's just not possible for space. But I have so many women who are like, oh, I wish I had a better wash basin setup
Yeah.
or more comfortable. But like the ones that have you lay out are like $15,000 and they take up a lot of room. That's why nobody has them.
Yeah. Have you noticed though, why is hair salon furniture so expensive? Like I saw a trolley, literally, like it looks like a side cabinet, one drawer cabinet, $8.99. I could literally go, and Container Store is expensive. Probably get the exact same thing at Container Store for $2.99. I just feel like they jack up the price on hairstyle for everything. Everything you buy. I just bought trimmer, clipper, and a foil. It was $1,200 for three things.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be that expensive for a clipper. I remember when I was paying $80 for a clipper. Come on.
Yeah. When it comes to furniture, though, I got a nice side thing, as you're talking about, for $2.99. It looks pretty. None of the wheels lock. So if you open the drawer, the thing like comes forward.
It comes with you.
Yeah. And it's technically particle board. So I think this
if it gets
why.
wet, forget it. Yeah, it gets wet, it ruins. It expands and it's done.
So that's what I'm saying. The one that you saw for $8.99 is probably actual wood and it's probably well made.
Yeah, that's true. But not always the case, to be honest.
Very big deal for wheels. Any wheels in the salon, you have to be able to get hair out of because they collect hair.
Most things you can't get hair out of them. So it's like
we get down on the ground with like razors and cut the hair out of them.
Oh my God, do you remember that chunk that was stuck in my chair the other day? It looked like a mini, like toupee.
Yeah. It looked like an animal's tail.
It actually did. Oh my God, it looked like a squirrel's tail.
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed that when I was cleaning. But Barbara to the rescue, she found it.
Yeah. I can always spot a tail in the room. Okay, a couple things to go over really quick. IVAC. Do you know what this is?
Yes.
So Demetra tried one. So an IVAC is this little device that is, you plug it in, and when it senses you coming near it, it sounds like a vacuum cleaner and it sucks up hair. If you're in a salon suite, if you walk anywhere near it, it makes this vacuum suck noise and makes you want to pee your pants.
Yeah, because it scares the shit out of you.
Yeah.
So unless you have a good location for it, it's not worth getting. I returned mine because every time, I mean, I couldn't find the right location. If I had a better location, I would have kept it because it was very cool.
Yeah.
Just swept it. I didn't have to
If you have space.
If you have space for it, it could be okay. But they're loud. They are loud.
Yeah.
But so is my vacuum. Now I have that handheld vacuum, and that's just as loud. So
True. Releases once a day. Bleach safe towels. This is a must. It drives me crazy when you see towels that have bleach stains on them or hair color because hair color has ammonia, so it'll bleach the towels. And it's a salon thing. People that specialize in salons make bleach safe towels, bleach safe leggings, bleach safe aprons. Get them, all of them. Also, I learned this last year. How did I get to be middle aged and I never knew this? High sheen glass cleaner. Like it's a aerosol spray.
Okay.
I've always been wondering with my OCDness why Windex still leaves marks.
Does it?
Yes.
I feel like Windex is the best out of everything I've
Really?
ever used. I've tried Mr. Glass. That's like a foaming aerosol. I was a
Hmm.
fan for a little bit.
I'm going to show you my can. I heard about this from Kat.
Really?
It's amazing.
What is
Okay.
it?
It's kind of like a foam, like it's an aerosol
Right.
spray, and you have to use like a microfiber towel, but
Mhm.
it makes it sparkle. It's
Well,
amazing.
what brand is it? Who is it? We need to know.
I think it's called High Sheen or
Hmm.
CFL, maybe. I'm going to
Hmm.
take a picture of it and send it.
Okay. Yeah, because our listeners want to know.
You also need a stash of Benadryl,
Yes.
just in case anybody gets allergic to whatever you're doing with
Mhm.
your magic and your alchemy. Tons of Kleenex. People
Yeah.
grab Kleenex and more Kleenex and more Kleenex. It's endless.
It is crazy how much Kleenex I go through in my salon. Not me.
Yeah.
People just coming in like they need the Kleenex.
Yeah.
And water. Gotta always have water. Someone's always choking.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I mean, but they are. I don't know if it's just like, the products being sprayed from other rooms or whatever. People come in and they start choking. So you need water. Always have water on hand.
And if you're going to have a salon suite, you have to have, and buy in bulk, barbicide. Plenty of barbicide.
Yeah.
And what is maybe not as common is Ship Shape. Ship Shape comes.
Oh my God. Did I tell you about a big bag of that shit?
Good.
It is so good for my brushes. I
Yeah.
throw them in my bowl now. I don't even have to like brush them off. Like, nothing. It melts everything
Yeah.
right off my. It's insane. I love that shit.
Ship
Ship
Shape
Shape.
is powder that will clean your brushes. You put it in hot water, let the brushes
Mhm.
soak in there for just a little bit. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's nice. It gets
and
like the keratin right off of it because usually when I'm doing keratin, it's like that buildup of the keratin gets dried on there. It could get flaky. This melts it right off. Really
Yes.
nice. Really nice.
Yeah. No elbow grease required.
Mhm.
And Ship Shape also makes a spray for just surfaces, and it is awesome. I love that. That's one of the only things that I can get the salt from people's shoes in winter off like the bottom of my hydraulic chair.
I have to tell you, the Swiffer like wet things are like the worst for our flooring. Whatever we have, I always feel like I see streaks and it looks like a film is on the floor. It drives
Yeah.
me insane
Yeah.
because I don't know what else to use. I've tried like everything.
Ship
So if-
Shape.
for the floor?
Yeah.
You sure?
Spray it on there. I am positive I do it. Okay, those are our tips. And comment on anything that we may have left out. And let us know your biggest questions on opening your own salon suite. We want to know. Tell us everything.
Everything.
Everything. All right, see you next week.
Bye.